Good evening, girls. Well, I consider that it is interesting to see the way that the learning conception has changed through the time, through the years. Because if we see at the beginning, the first theorists told or thought that learning was like a product, was considered like a product, and later, the other linguistics or psychologists consider learning like a process where students or learners must must complete some steps or some tasks in order to get the final product. But if we are going to relate that with the andragogy, where it is a set of assumptions about how others learn, we can consider some interesting points that are checked in the readings. For example, we we are adults, we are adult learners, and we need to know why we are knowing something. Hmm?
Yes.
We must move our minds from new strategies. What do you think about that, Esperanza?
Yes, I think it's very important that we as teachers create new environments in which students can acquire different experiences, different real experiences. For example, through a role play, through case studies, students can learn about real life. They can learn by their own experience and and they can solve problems in life. And so they are going to know that learning is is very important for life, not only to acquire knowledge, but for real life. What do you think then?
I think that the important thing here is that we help us our students to be reflected about their learning. Yes. So how we are gonna do that? That's our mission. Okay. That's our goal. So we need to like try to create concrete tasks, like try to do an scaffolding process where they can like achieve self-directness and autonomy.
Yes, I think you what you say is very important, and also we as teachers we have to assess and to consider and to highlight the positive aspects about our students, their achievements, their goals, to highlight that in order to they feel valuable and they feel sure about what they are learning.
And if we consider, if we compare our feelings like a learner, like a learners, and we compare with our students, we must consider that we must avoid generalize the learning process, the learning teaching process, because we are forgetting maybe in order to facilitate the strategies into the classroom, we are forgetting that all the students are different and have different styles to learn. Okay, we are forgetting, for example, how they how do they know, how do they think, how do they decide, and how do they act. In that way, in the same way that we are treated in our master, we must treat our students, making some individualizations, in order to get better results from them.
You know what I think that it is really important and a key concept is try to be like that to have a really good relation among the students and the teacher. Yes, how we do that with very interactive strategies and activities. So we need to like be very focused on a learning center classroom. So try to be that the learning is for them, that they are doing the process, and they are improving as learners, and we are improving as teachers also. So they are self-directed, they are autonomous, and very reflective of their own learning.
Yes, I think you are right, and I think the relationship between the teacher and the student must be very important because if the students trust on their teacher and have a good relationship and a very good communication between them,
Mhm.
uh, students can solve their doubts or any problem that they have, which
And
is very
And
important.
yeah,
another
and
thing
and
is
maybe they are the best support in order to introduce the new technologies in our classroom, no? Because they have many a best knowledge related
about
with the new technologies
technology
that maybe
resources.
we don't domain. But if we establish those basic relationships that you are mentioning before, we can connect, or we are preparing the good field in order to construct new technology, new classroom strategies to support students and teachers when we are just leaders, not just the instructors.
Yes, I think the use of technology provides a lot of pedagogical implications. And we need to think about how can it help, how can technology help us to have a successful learning process for our students, and also a successful learning for our process as teachers. I think that's really important. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.